There are 18 divisions in the LAPD. Southeast is just one. 150,000 people live here. Almost everyone knows someone who has a gang connection. Chewy and Slim live in a housing project called Jordan Downs. The cops are in their lives all the time.
They give you the third degree, you know what I'm saying? They make you feel like you're not human, like you're cargo, you know what I mean? It's no rights. Over the years, the police has instilled fear in everything over here.
I ain't seen the positive cop yet, man.
I haven't seen a positive cop yet.
I ain't seen a positive cop yet.
What's the worst thing the cops could do to you around here?
What's the worst?
Yeah,
they can kill you. The worst they can do is kill you.
Los Angeles is the second largest city in the country, spread over 450 square miles. There are 9,000 cops. New York City, by comparison, has almost 40,000.
In your neighborhood versus our neighborhood, this is what they have to do every day after school. Throw rocks, play in vacant fields that have been vacant since the 1965 riots. We don't see Girl Scouts. We don't see Boy Scouts. We don't have a YMCA. We don't have nothing in this community for them to do. Nothing.
Our daycare system is a gang system. And it's the failure of the political leadership in this city to provide the support systems for poor families. LA is a third world city. We are a third world city for much of what exists here. And if you don't claim your children, the streets and the gangs will raise them.
Our job as a gang officer is to know everything we can about the gang we're assigned.
What's up, peoples?
And that is their names, their nicknames, their tattoos, their descriptions, their cars, their girlfriends, their family, where they live, where they hang out, who they hang out with. So it's a constant attempt to gain that information.
What are you claiming?
I'm from 97 East Coast.
You claiming East Coast too?
Yeah.
What'd you get put in for?
Murder.
How many years you do for that?
9.
9?
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that?
14.
Damn. What'd you do?
Murder.
I mean, how'd you do it?
Negligent manner.
Southeast is the epicenter of gangs throughout the country. It's a community that's caught in the middle of a battle between good and evil, gangs and police. You can keep a lid on it, you can control it, but you're never gonna completely stop it.
They'll use kids on the little scooters, you know, that cruise around and be lookouts. They use the Nextel phones with the walkie-talkie on them. So the first person to see an officer approaching a neighborhood gets on the Nextel, lets everybody know, and they just step back in their house until the coast is clear, come back out, start selling again. As you drive around the division, you go from block to block, and the gangs change. Some are huge, you know, 2,000 members.
The guns are the big picture.
So far we got one in the house too.
You pull a gun off a guy, you know, on the street, and he goes in. You know someone's not going to get shot that night by him, at least.
They've got the AK-47s. The neighborhood in general, unfortunately, is hostage. Gangs control everything. They control it through fear. Most people there are good, hard-working families. And then there's the other element that we battle every day.
This time someone called the police to report that these young men were pointing a gun at passing cars.
You know why we're here then, right? Said they had a gun, we found the gun. And these guys right here earlier today were at a gang funeral. We know that their tempers are a little high right now, so.
Before the police are even off the block, someone retaliates against the neighbors suspected of calling the cops. A man and a woman are both stabbed.
Why don't you tell me who did it? Where's the guy at? Almost 8 years on the job, and till this day, I'm still amazed at the amount of violence that's out there. And I'm also amazed that how little people know about how much violence is out there.
Here's an example of how people are trapped. If they call the cops, a gang may come down on them. But people also fear the LAPD.
I mean, we need people to talk to us and to come forward and to tell us what happened. When we're out at a crime scene, who's there, who's not there. And usually if it's quiet and there's nobody out there, everyone knows what happened. we're faced with, if it's a gang case, and most of them are, is how much trust does the community have in the police? The police aren't always there. The gang members are.
This go on every day. Killings, double homicides, it's never on the news.
By the end of the summer last year, the Los Angeles Police Department as a whole was having a better year. The crime rate was falling. Citywide, homicide was down almost 25%. That was not the case in Southeast Division.
It's an 8-7 location. They sell a little marijuana at it.
Two guys got out, both with machine guns, one at Uzi and one at AK-47, and just did a spray.
In excess of 40 rounds were fired. Both the male and female were struck right there in the living room.
They said the bullets went through the front wall, through all the walls in the house, and came out the back wall of the house.
A woman, her 3 children in our southeast area, they were subject to a drive-by shooting in front of their home. The 6-year-old D'Angelo Beck was shot in the head last night, and he is at this time on life support.
The suspect car rolls by, starts firing at him. The people in Suburban throw up reverse, take out this fence here, and back right up and hit the house. The 6-year-old boy was sitting inside the Suburban. He took one to the head. It went in his right side of his head and out the back.
There was a 6-year-old kid that was born into a situation that they couldn't control. The child died because his father was a gang member. The child died because his father was dealing dope out of that front yard and had gang members in his front yard. The complete blame for that child dying, other than the person who pulled the trigger, is on that dad's head.
Just sitting on the porch on the weekend night.
But it was an all too typical homicide here, almost as if it didn't happen. You won't read about it in any papers, you won't hear about it in the news. Yeah, there's a life lost, and it's not even a blip in time. Just
at 54th and Normandy. It's not only because of those young people. It's also because of a young man that was 6 years old who was shot and killed during a barrage of gunfire that had gang influence about it. Our job, in a deliberate and a professional way, is to send them a powerful message that they don't get to wreak havoc in our communities. They just don't get to do it.
In late October, the department tried to send the gangs a powerful message. More than 400 officers hit 37 locations simultaneously. The explosive devices are intended to divert attention while the SWAT team makes its entry. Chief Bratton says that 10% of the gangsters do most of the violence, and the cops know who they are. By the end of this night, there were 29 arrests, and the cops picked up 13 guns. Today, there are more gangs than ever. Thousands of young gang members have been killed. Tens of thousands have been arrested. And still, the gangs continue to grow. 6 months after he got here, Bratton asked the City Council for 320 more officers. The City Council said no.
what are they thinking about over there? The city desperately needs more police officers. These police officers desperately need more like them out in these streets.
It's a tough sell in Los Angeles. Nobody wants to pay for cops to work in someone else's neighborhood.
Nobody should have to die from gang violence. We shouldn't have it, you know. And that's what I think our goal is gang officers. I mean, I would like to turn a neighborhood back into a place where everybody can walk their dogs and play in the street and skateboard and ride bikes and, you know, like where I grew up. That's kind of my goal. Will it happen at the rate we're going and the amount of gang members that are out there? It's an unbelievable battle. But it's possible.